Hello and welcome to the Alexandra Wenman Show. I'm very excited today to have Githa Ben-David as my guest on the show, and I also have my lovely friend Virginie Guillot, who is one of Githa's students, to come and talk to us today about sound and sound healing, and yeah, we're just going to have a wonderful conversation, so we're very pleased you can join us. Githa, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. I've got you here in London, which is exciting. And as my viewers know, I've already spoken to your husband, Lars.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to be working with A Note from Heaven?
I'm calling it The Note from Heaven because I had an experience when I was 25. I went to India and I went actually to study music because I got a scholarship from the musical conservatorium. I studied classical saxophone and I just wanted to experience something different. I've been really studying and it was going very well for me. I was a really top student, like a good girl, practice, it's high degree.
Mm-hmm.
Degrees, you call
Degree, yeah.
And then I went from Denmark with a lot of money. They gave me a lot of money because I had high degrees, they get money. And I just said I want to study some music that I don't understand, just to widen my kind of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And actually I just wanted to get out to travel.
Mm.
But I went there alone because a girlfriend of mine that was supposed to go got pregnant. So I was alone in India. And I went to a singing teacher called Mangala Tiwari in Varanasi. I stayed there 2 months and to study with her. And I loved her voice. I mean, from the first meeting, I just felt like, oh my God. It was like, I didn't know anything about Indian music, but it was not the Indian music, but it was her voice, the quality of her sound. And I've always been very interested in the quality of sound.
They work on a different scale, don't they, the Indian classical singers?
Yes, you can say it's like it's on a drone. It's not harmonic music, but another thing is that they work on the raga, and the raga means what colors the mind. And what colors the mind is it's a feeling, and the combination of notes will create a feeling, and that was new for me, and I thought it was really interesting. And I thought, okay, that's my way of doing things. That if things works, then it's good. I don't care what it is. If it works, fine. And I must say, I've developed in that because I come from a very artistic family, and I've been seeing things working. So whatever, if I can see it or not, if it works.
Up until that point, had you had any kind of spiritual awakening or spiritual training? So you knew a bit about that philosophy?
No, I actually didn't have any, but I've always been praying in the toilet. Because my father was very, very, very atheistic, and I would be a black sheep. I mean, if they knew that. So
you had no spirituality in your family?
No, but when I heard, to be honest, when I heard about Jesus in the school and all the Bible, I thought, why didn't they tell me nothing about it? So I started, it's not that I will put myself but I prayed always in the toilet. I was so ashamed I had to go to the toilet for Jesus.
The Holy Throne.
I was praying before.
Jesus said, anywhere's your church, anywhere's your temple, right?
So, anyway, but about the sound, the Mangala Tiwari sound, she told me to, I had the saxophone soprano, and I wanted to show her, show off, how fast I could play the. And then she was not interested, even not in Bach's air. No, she cut me off. She saw the ego, and she just told me, you go home and sing one note, at least for 1 hour a day. I said, 1 note? Yeah, and it's your ground note, and you sing that. And I did, and I felt like she wanted me to put me down, but I did it because I liked her sound, and I didn't sound like that. I was not a singer, and I like to sing, but because my voice was like, I didn't have the power. And later on I figured out that this thing, by not having your power, I mean, I had power, but I was like, I could not be angry. I thought I was very nice because I couldn't be angry. No, I cried, and people didn't take me seriously. So after I start to get my power from this singing one note and just surrendering into a state of being by singing one note, I all of a sudden say, "Whoa," and many notes came out. I was convinced it was not me singing. It must be somebody out in the window copying me every time I open my mouth.
Wow, so you could hear layers of voices.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, and that's the overtones. But in that time, it was not. It just was coming up with the overtone singing. So I didn't know anything about it. And then, so what is the spiritual part of it is that when you get to get your power from down, from the bottom of yourself, then it will be a fountain of light coming up. It will come up. You, anybody can have that. And I got that, and I just got, I love to be in that state, because any musician play music, because certain places in a song, there would be like, you get this kind of, not an orgasm, but some kind of surrendering, that you just leave all control.
Well, Virginie, when she came back from studying with you, I went over to her house and you led a circle, didn't you?
Yes.
So we did some kirtan, and then she shared with us the note from heaven. And oh my goodness, like, it was really, really, really powerful. And we did experience, I definitely experienced overtones, and it almost feels like you're anchoring deep into something, but then you're touching the choirs of angels, and now I can understand that, the note from heaven is like the perfect name.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything else for it, because it's like, you feel like it's not you singing, it's like...
And you can hold your breath for longer as well, like the note lasts and lasts and lasts.
It's like a column coming down, and you just sang from up. And that's why, what I love about this is that we are one.
Yeah.
Yes.
We unite. It's like we have the dual level and we have a oneness level. And it's both beautiful, because we cannot see the oneness level if we're not standing in the dual. Because if we were just one, we didn't know.
We wouldn't have anything to claim, no reference point.
We would just be one.
It would just be useless blobs of love floating around.
Yes. So the note from heaven is like a bridge to the oneness. So... And I've been working for this for about 30 years, or 32 years, and since I was 25, and it's just been developing and developing. And the thing is that when you know how to enter the oneness, I'm sure also when you know this, then if you can stay there and not, this is also about what is belief, what is faith, because you just, the more you experience this, you know that it's not you.
Yeah.
You know that you're connected to something higher. It's not a matter of any doubt, because if you don't have any doubt, it works.
Yeah.
And that's why, for example, if you could take a group reading, it's because you know that. It's only when you're totally sure you're standing in this energy, then you can pass it. And that's why I made this education international, where you also are part of it, because the ones that can stand in the power, and that's actually just to believe enough in themselves to be nothing. It's just to be nothing.
Yes.
Then they can pass it.
It's like you let go of any, I guess, it's the ego, isn't it? It's let go of the labels and the titles and the reference points for that moment, and then you're just part of everything.
Because it's so much bigger than you, this power. It's God. I mean, that's what you call God. I know people have different definitions of that.
It's amazing while we're speaking, my hands are buzzing and I can feel the energy in the room. So I want to lead the conversation now onto your healing work, because you do a lot of healing with your sound as well, don't you? So how did you tap into that initially?
It happened, I was scared. I must say I was really scared, and I recognize also that from the students, so I understand them, but I was scared to step from the role of being a musician, because that was what I was, a musician, to say, okay, I'm healing you, it was like so hard to do that step, and it took me a long time, and the spirit was like you know. So what happened was first that I used to live in Israel because I was married to an Israeli, but we moved back to Denmark, and then I was teaching the note from heaven and like a voice work. You know, we couldn't call it a spiritual thing because in that time you will get fired if you do something like it. So I made it like voice work to sing nicely. You can use it to sing nice also. I became a good singer. I mean, I think I can sing nice.
You're definitely a good singer. No, I'm going to actually share some links below so you can hear
but I could sing better than I could do before. So I did this, and then there were two of the students, and they were elder than me, and they were into all the spiritual and healing. I was thinking like, you know,
that airy fairy stuff.
Because I was not there yet, and because I'm really grounded. I tried to keep ground, but slowly I developed. So they were elder than me, and they said, "Oh, we have a cold today. We can't sing." Both of them say, "But why did you come?" Yeah. We know you could heal us. So, because I learned that in Israel, by a student actually, that I was in this mystical therapy, it's Spanish Master Jose, that he taught her, and then I went to them, and I learned how to heal. And to say, but I can't do it, I'll be fired. So they said, so sing on us, it's singing. Because there was some guy walking around there that could be telling me if I would do that. So I said, okay, I will sing on you. We tried. And I felt so stupid while doing it. I thought, oh, why did I say yes? You know, but I thought, okay, if I will stop now, you know, it will feel more awkward. So I went all the way through, and I found out that you can find the resonance in the body while doing it. I could see.
So does the voice change?
Shall I just show?
Yeah.
Maybe the stomach is most easy.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah. Right here. You see the light will come.
Yeah.
Sorry. The light will come when you hit it. So do it another place.
Yeah.
Could you feel it?
Yeah.
Because I move the head, but I'm not changing the
yeah.
So there is.
Sorry.
It's
amazing. You really feel it, don't you? I just felt this opening and expansion.
Yeah, but this is a natural law
Yeah.
that you can do this.
Yeah.
So that's what I found out when I did that on them. But at the same time, I felt like, oh, what I'm doing is too strange. And I can understand many people find it strange.
Yeah.
But it works.
It works. It really works. I mean, you know, and I obviously work in healing as well, so I'm quite sensitive to energies, and God, I could feel that shift. I mean, literally, God, I could feel that shift. That was amazing. And Virginie, could you feel that as well, being next to me?
I think it's amazing because, you know, while you're receiving this healing through the sound and the voice, it was working on me as well. Like it's always like this because we are one, right?
Yeah.
And I think for me that's what I've learned even stronger by being with you is like when we were in this room with so many people and we could you know, sing all together. There was a resonance, a common resonance between all of us.
Yeah.
And that was incredibly powerful because every resonance is touching one another. And sometimes it will touch people straight away, sometimes it will take longer, but you feel it in your body. When Githa does something on one person, you can be sure that 15 other people will feel it in the room.
Yeah, but also if you would sing yourself free in front of the others, if somebody would take out a trauma, then this sound, when it's released, this sound will pull all the others that have similar sound trauma. Yes. That's why it's interesting because I want to. It's like a horse standing inside the stable. She's free. I also want.
Yeah, so it brings it out.
The sound triggers it, because in that way we can hit some traumas that people could not get in contact with, because if one could get in contact with it, you, Virginie, would be able to release the others, for example.
I work a lot with columns of light and create, bringing a column of light through the body, and sometimes sound comes through when I'm working as well. I see it now while you're talking about it. I'm seeing it as a column of sound. It's amazing. So it kind of strengthens that column of light and brings that resonance, so it can move something up and through.
Yes,
it's wow.
We are sound.
Yeah, we are.
So that means that all our cells are frequencies, and we can tune into them.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the voice is the most precise for us as living beings, because our voice will also show. Like one day if you didn't sleep so well, you will have maybe a little bit sore throat, and that could be that the body was a little bit weakened from not sleeping, or you can hear your voices change. Also, after releasing a trauma, that person's voice will be slightly changed. Also, the expression, the light around the person.
All my sinuses have cleared and my ears have cleared. I was a bit bummed up before. I had like a cold last week, but I've still had the sort of a bit of the blockage. You've just cleared my ears. I can actually hear. Yay! I was probably shouting before. So in terms of the actual workshops and the work that Virginie came and did with you teach the Note from Heaven. Do you teach people to do healing then on each other as well?
All I have is for sharing, because it's one, we're one. So the more people that will do this, the more light. And that's what is important. We have to let the light grow now. And the light, light is energy. And the higher energies, the better the world will be. I'm writing now a new book. I'm trying to write it in English. My English is very bad. But it was in order, because I've been doing a lot of Danish book that is translated, but before they're getting out, I'm not a famous person, so The Note from Heaven got out, but I have a lot of other books, but they didn't get released yet, published. And so I thought, now I'll write this one in English that they can know what it's about. But maybe it's too bad, the English, but it's about the pineal.
Wow.
Because I believe that the pineal, they call it pineal gland, but it should actually be pineal cone, because it is a cone, and it's based on all the, what you call this principle, Fibonacci sequence.
Sacred geometry, isn't it?
It is,
yeah.
and that's why it's not just a gland. And the Egyptians, they had this...
it's quite crystalline, isn't it?
Yes, it's the only crystalline thing. So I'm into that, and I believe that I know also from scientific, I've been writing with some scientists, also Stephanie Seneff. I just made an interview with her. I love her. She's from the States. She's so knowledgeable. And but there are many also doctors. I try to make it scientific.
I'm very interested in the science. I'm looking a lot myself into the links between science and spirituality. So what's the kind of main thread of the book? Obviously the pineal gland, but how?
And this is the newest one, so of course I'm into that. But this is that the pineal gland is when we are receiving toxins from the environment, the pineal gland is the first one to be toxified because it's standing in the middle of the bloodstream, and therefore, and it has one of the most, it's the highest pulsating organ after the heart. That somebody says the same. I don't know.
And right in the center of the brain too, right? So all those receptors.
So it's very high pulsating and a lot of blood going through it. So that and it's not protected by the brain barrier. What do you call it?
The blood-brain
barrier. Yeah, like all other organs would be. So because the same thing with hypothalamus and the pituitary, which is in the central nervous system, like a bird's head inside. And I should not go too deep into it, but I will just say that because that has such a strong pulsating it will be calcified very easy from fluoride, calcium, aluminum, maybe other stuff, or mercury, but the three ones were the main ones. And you see that people, for example, that had dimension, it's totally calcified.
Yeah.
And it's not only because of its calcification, it's because that then the communication in the body's gland, the endocrine system, will be weakened. Why? Because the pineal gland is sending out melatonin. It secretes melatonin in the night, and sulfates. It stores it like heparin sulfate in the day. Okay, no, it's technical.
Carry on, it's good.
Yeah, but the thing is that the sulfate is our purification. That will purify our cells. A natural purification. And if you take anything to purify cells, we don't talk about blood toxin. We talk about chronic toxification where it's inside the cells.
Yeah.
This is not a normal situation. It's very unnatural that they're coming inside the cells because they are very well protected. It's like a Trojanic horse that's going inside. And how come they're inside?
It's like attacking from the inside out.
The glyphosate. Right? According to Stephanie Senef, the glyphosate, people want to have it proved, but it is proved in many ways, but it's so complicated. But the glyphosate will help the toxins. For example, the glyphosate is minus loaded and the aluminum will be plus. That's why the body will very easily say, I don't want you. But with the glyphosate, the minus and plus, and then the body can't see that it's dangerous anymore.
Oh, because it's part of
It's a very simple way to say it is something with the proteins and glycine and things like this. I don't know enough about it, but I read it and understood it.
Wow.
So they are helped inside the cells because of these toxins. So they can say, okay, glyphosate is not dangerous. No, but it's dangerous when it's going together with the other stuff.
It then becomes like a hidden toxin in many ways,
and
doesn't
it? Our proteins that we take in are changed to be toxins also in the gut. That's why people get this. Anyway, I've been into it because I tried to have I was intoxicated myself with lead. That's why I went into it, and I thought I can just do it with sound, but I couldn't. I could see that it could even make it worse sometimes. Not worse, but because I tried to do a certain way, go straight on it. No, you don't need to do it in a certain way. And that's the new thing. Because I tried to get it off by praying, going into the note from heaven and say, oh, please help me to get it out. Luckily, I asked it to get out through the ground.
That's what I do with working with
and I didn't go through the head because next day it had spread to the other leg. No, it's not that it's dangerous, but I was doing it very consciously. I asked to get it and down. So I understood, oh my God, I should not do this. So I got some DMSA to help me from a vet. They know about it. The doctors don't know anything about it.
You got it from a vet?
Yeah.
You got it from a vet?
Yeah. She didn't help me all the way, but she just... I saw that she was cured in the homepage. But some doctors also help, but the doctors will not tell their name. They are afraid.
So what is the DMSA?
It's a kind of also sulfur thing.
Like
but then the new thing from this, because I thought instead that we have to, the doctors are not educated in it, then I thought, why not, if we could find a way to do this with a sound, and then when I heard about this, that the pineal gland can create the sulfur that otherwise we can get it from onions, cabbage, seaweed, and maybe also from this doctor. It's medicines, these things.
Natural medicine. Yeah.
It's going inside the cell and taking it out. But you have to be careful because it's taking all the minerals.
Yeah.
So it's not something you just do. You have to be really careful. It should be doctor's job, this.
Yeah.
It's not my job to do this.
Yeah.
To take tests.
But you've had to experiment with yourself.
Yeah,
you've had to be the guinea pig, haven't you?
You have to feel it yourself what you're doing. So you take responsibility on yourself. That we have to do this. But then I thought if the pineal gland will produce sulfate in daytime. I hope that Stephanie Senef is right. I think she is. Then if we could help the pineal gland to be more active.
Yeah.
So I started, I was in the menopause, and I also had depressions coming. I thought I will never have like this, but I really felt the moods coming. So I lay down on the floor, put the feet on the ground, and it was almost pain in the body, so sad I was without reason. And then I started to try to vibrate the glands of the endocrine system, and I tried to find which sound it is. And you tried it also, Virginie. I'm testing them also in the car. But so it was. I found that I tried the sound hum. Yeah, and I said hum. I couldn't feel anything. Then all of a sudden. And that's how the sound is also.
Well, that can you can feel that you can feel it go up through the brain right into the pineal, can't you? It kind of goes up.
Yes, but you can even do something more, because I'm used in this system also. I listen for what the voice wants to tell me. You can try something with your mind, but then when you go into the oneness level, you let the voice lead you to where it's supposed to be. It's tricky, because some people will also I'm now taking out and my voice is doing this. You can feel, you learn to feel when it's true and not true. It has to work.
Yeah.
So it started every time I sang this hum, it started saying It started to sound like a drill.
So it's telling you, it's talking to you.
Every time I was doing this, I said, okay, I tried to do it. And then I start to find, I just imagine it's in the back of the bird head, inside, in the middle of the head, the pineal gland, like it's a bird shape of this, the central nerve system. And then I started just trying to vibrate it, and
that's what they call the Ark of the Covenant, don't they? The pituitary.
The crystal palace, also some call it. Yeah. So that's actually the third eye. It's not this or that. It's the three of them.
Both three.
I think.
Three, yeah.
Because they work very close together.
It's the Holy of Holies, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But the pineal gland is like the one that has the connection up, and then they will all send messages for the rest of the body. But anyway. So I tried. I imagine that this is like a drill. It could also be a cat's purr. Why that? Maybe that's why the cat is purring.
And that's meant to be the vibration of unconditional love, isn't it? The cat's purr.
Yeah. I'm into that. It's really nice. The undertones. So and I experienced that when I did this, I did it shortly, because I thought, if it's going to work this. Don't do it too fast, because the pineal gland will be very sensitive, and you can get like, shouldn't be crazy from,
blow a gasket.
No, but you're used to have a certain calcification, so it should be slowly.
Yeah.
Always detox must be slow to get used to it. So I did 1-2 minutes, and then to the other ones, the beak is the hypothalamus, and the third eye thing just behind the cavity of the nose is the pituitary. And you can actually, by singing you can activate the pituitary, and I think that's where you get into the nerve system.
Wow.
Because it's up here, and when you say
shall we do a little bit?
Yes, you're up there. And place it in the pineal. But there should be no sound, it should be yes.
My throat chakra keeps wanting to go.
You get really sleepy. You know what I think? I think it's Joe Dispenza. He's saying in his book, The Supernatural or something. He's writing, because I've been reading a lot to see what the others write about this, and he's saying that, I'm sorry to say, but he's saying that the pineal is working like what do you call it? The man's thing.
Getting an erection.
When you stimulate it, it will.
Yeah.
And you.
It gets turned on.
Could you imagine? Yes, it's getting turned on.
Oh my! I'm getting a boner in my pineal. We're going. Sorry, people.
So if this is true, then it's like the cone will open and close again. But then if you do this, you could imagine that some of this calcification will fall off.
Yes, because then it expands and probably breaks it
and
away.
probably it will. But it should do it also when it secretes melatonin. Then I don't know. But anyway, if it secretes melatonin when you're doing it, that's why we get sleepy. Because I always do it in the end of some kind of workshop or before we have a break, because you get like really sleepy.
How did you find it? Did you?
The whole training or just this part? Or
Yeah, shall we ask Virginie about the training? So first of all, what led you to Githa in the first place? How did you find her?
I found her through her husband Lars.
That's right, because we came to a talk in
It's
London
Lars
together,
yeah,
didn't we?
It's the author of the Oneness.
And I was very interested in the whole Katha region. I'm still very much interested by lots of things there, the energy of the place, the story, the different various stories that we can hear. But it's also about experiencing the place itself. I'm not going to speak too much about the Katha because I could stay here for a long time.
Virginie and I went on a retreat together, didn't we? We did a pilgrimage last year on Mary Magdalene's feast day.
That's right.
That was very special. Very special trip.
That was very special. We were supposed to be only 2.
Yeah.
And we ended up being
12. Yeah.
All together, coming from various countries. And it was very special. And so Lars is very knowledgeable with the Mary Magdalene experience and stories and much more than that.
Yeah.
And I've been going to his workshop, and I found that fascinating. And then, because also I'm very interested with how to connect myself to my own self, my true self, I was therefore interested in developing my voice. And through Lars, I saw gradually Githa, who I found through video and talks through YouTube, and I found that very, very interesting. So, and then things turned out that I knew someone who is called Veronique, who has trained with Githa, and she was organizing the Not From Heaven group.
Oh, so that's from there.
So I decided to join Veronique groups, and I tried the Not From Heaven, and it was amazing. It was truly amazing. I'm so grateful to Veronique.
She's a medical doctor, actually.
Wowzers, that's amazing to hear, actually.
She's not active, so that's why she dares to go into it, I think.
Wow, it's great to hear. There's more and more doctors and scientists now, I think, venturing into this area. Wow.
But so through that group sharing, I have experienced bliss, but also a real meditation state that comes from the depth of our voice, of our own voice, through what comes through, basically. And it's by allowing the what wants to come with one single note. That is amazing. When you allow that to come through you, and it's just, you have to trust. I think it's what it is. You have to trust what's coming, and just allow yourself to sing that note the way that the notes wants to be sung. I don't know if I express myself.
I get so touched by it, because if I've given it past this just for one, it's my life. You understood it. I can hear that.
So through that group, then I decided to go and do the training, Githa's training, which is truly amazing, and I so recommend it to anyone, because I am, and that's why I'm here today, because more and more in my life I'm searching for authenticity, in every way.
Mm.
And I think Githa is a truly authentic person first, and now I mean it. And
I'm in a love-in here.
and I think her work for me, it's such a gift because you find your true voice, but also you set yourself free from trauma, and it's a bonus because you get to share the Not From Heaven, to sing together, to have this feeling of oneness that you can get also with kirtan. It's and I love kirtan as well. But the Not From Heaven is also something that is new for me because it's the allowing of that note to come through you and to heal you, to get this meditation state. And through that meditation state, there is a reorganizing of your whole being, because we have to remember that we are made of water, like 70%
You
of
are.
water.
I'm going to this water conference in Sofia.
Right.
I was listening to your water song this morning.
Yeah, because I it's a big thing for me because I have to lead the children. Not children. 13 years is the youngest, but anyway, to do it. But I'm going there because it's so interesting. The best Jean-Luc Montagnier, I think he's called, and all kind of he got the Nobel Prize. All kind of famous scientists. Did you know that the scientists that are into this, that is also building the bridge actually to spirituality, because the water and sound is the bridge.
Yes.
They are also not really popular.
Well, we can activate the water molecules, can't we?
I'm sorry.
No, please.
No,
because
because I asked some of the scientists, also Stephen Zenith, but also Gerald Pollack. He was the one, I think, the first one to talk about structured water.